Hello everybody and happy Tuesday. I'm here to bring you a technique today. My name is Rita Holmes. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I like to bring techniques every week to you to show you different things you can do to your, especially with backgrounds and things like that, to make in your card making. I also want to tell you that I always make a PDF of my technique. I do the supplies and the directions of the technique, and I also add what I used on the card that I'm going to demonstrate along with their card directions. You can pick that up if you go to YouTube to my group there called Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes, and all of the PDFs are in there for any of the techniques that you see on YouTube. I do make those every week, and they are a compliment to you for watching my video. Also, I just want to tell you, if you do not have a demonstrator that you either buy from, or if you would like to join Stampin' Up!, I'd be glad to help you with that. I do have a host code right here on my table that if you use that when you order, that is just something for me. You get your order delivered straight to your house, and it accounts for a workshop order. Also, Stampin' Up's got a bonus days going on right now till the end of the month, actually to August 3rd. For every $50 you spend, you will get a $5 coupon in your email. So if you do that, do remember to keep those emails, because you'll be able to redeem them in August for another order. With all of that out of the way, I just want to tell you I'm getting ready to do torn paper marbling. This is my technique today, and it is a background technique. And let me just tell you a little bit about what I'm using with it. I'm going to use the Forever Fern stamp along with the Here's a Card. I'm just going to use one of the little sentiments out of Here's a Card. I will also be using the this tag die out of the Tastefully Labels dies, and I will be using this little leaf out of the Forever Flourishing leaves that go with the Forever Fern stamp set. So I'll be using those today as I make my card. I've also, this is already done, I use the greenery embossing folder, and this is what you get if you can see the detail in that. That's from this embossing folder, and they are small. You get 2 in a pack. The other one has different design. It's really nice. So that is what I'm using, along with the ribbon combo pack that came with the suite. It'll be this burlap type ribbon that's really fine and soft, and then the gold thread. I'll be using that, and the colors that I'm going to be using is going to be Soft Seafoam, Just Jade, and Pretty Peacock. Those are going to be the 3 colors that I'm going to be using for the marbling, or the textures in the background, I should say. And then I will be using Soft Suede to do my marbling, and I will use Early Espresso for the sentiment that I put on the card. So that is the stamps, pads, and sets and everything that I will be using. All the cutting details, the measurements will be on my PDF. That, again, you can go to Stamp Crazy by Rita Holmes and pick that up on my Facebook group. Okay, so here we are. We're going to get started. I am going to use finger daubers today instead of my crafting ink brushes. I forgot to get me a clean piece of paper, which I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the black. I'm going to set my card base, which is 5 by 3 3/4 here, and then I have a piece of copy paper that is, I just cut it in 4, so this is 5.5 by 4 1/4. We're going to be using this to do our card with and our tearing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear off a small piece of this edge right here. There we go. I'm going to come in with my first color, which is soft seafoam. And when you're doing this marbling and that with the torn paper, anytime you do a torn paper technique, you want to brush away from your tear. So what I'm going to do is ink this up, and I'm just going to brush away. And there's what I get. So I'm going to randomly do this over my piece of paper, and I am going to brush away. Make sure you hold on to your cardstock as well as your piece of copy paper. And I'm just doing this randomly. And after I say to hold on to everything, I let it slip. No big deal. Because there's my edge. So I just want to put enough color, and when using the light color, if I can always cover that up with my next two colors, but I do want to make sure I get a lot of lightness in here. So there we go. That so far is with my light color. So we'll put away the soft seafoam and we'll get out the just jade. That will be our next color. A little bit more vibrant. It'll show up a lot faster on the card. So let's get started with that. We're gonna angle that right here at the end. I didn't put an angle on it well enough, but you can always do that. There we go. And I want to cover up my white. I don't want a lot of white. I don't really want any white shown. I want it to look like a more softer tone. We'll put one up here. And as you notice, I am just... One thing I didn't do is I didn't tear my paper with that last one to get a new edge, so I'm going to tear it now because I want to go with the Pretty Peacock now, and we're going to add color with it. I love all these green and greenish blue colors. They're so pretty. So we're going to take our Pretty Peacock, and as you can see, it really covers. And I don't want to do that So with this one, I'm not doing it as hard because it is such a dark color. It's so pretty and rich. Let's go this way with this one. And I think what I'm going to do, because you see I've got some white there and there, I am going to leave that like it is. I'm not going to do any more marbling with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lightest color again. And I'm just going to add a little bit of color in there. Anywhere that I see I don't want it to be really, I don't want the white showing, but I don't want any dark either. So now I'm going to take and just kind of hit or miss. That kind of brightens that up just a little bit. And it doesn't hurt your lines. There we go. That's my piece of cardstock so far. I have the torn paper background. Now we're going to marble it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear this dirty piece off here. And I'm going to take the rest of this and I'm just going to tear it in half. Okay, I have it torn in half like this. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to make my vein. So I want to match these up, leaving a little bit of an area, and I'm going to take Scotch tape and I'm just going to add a piece on each end and fold it over to kind of hold my pieces together. I'll just pick this one up and turn it over, and there's my vein that I'm going to be using. And if you notice, I got ink all over my fingers. I'm a messy stamper, but I love to stamp. Don't mind the mess. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my soft suede. And that's how I got all these little dots over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to ink up my soft suede. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that ink off on the side there. And then I'm just going to put my veins. And you really don't have to, you can even dab a little bit. I'm just going to put some little ones in there that you can barely, just some little light lines. They all don't have to be connecting. Or I did this as a Facebook Live earlier, and one of the girls on there said that it'd be really neat to do blue backgrounds with white, leave white for lightning strikes, which would be a really cool effect. So I may have to do that one sometime. So do you guys like to make your own backgrounds and stuff? You need to let me know in the comments. And also, if you would just share my video, I would be really happy about that. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you've been there and if you like it. You can do a thumbs down if you don't like it. But if you do that, would you please put in the comments why, so I can try to perfect on what I'm doing to make my videos more appealing to you guys. So as you can see, I'm just adding little marbling pieces all over my cardstock so that they'll show. I'm going to put one here and I think I'm done. And I didn't even re-ink. If it's light, that's good. There we go. So there's my background with my marbling on it. Really love this technique and how it looks. If you can see it up close. And the soft suede actually looks like a little bit of gold in there. It's not really brown, so it gives a good effect. I'm going to leave it on this piece of paper right here. Well, first of all, for my card, I cut off a little bit because I used the marbling paper also to do my little tag and my punched leaves that I have on here. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in and I'm going to cut off 1 1/4 inches to use. There we go. Then this is going to be matted on this piece of Pretty Peacock with this below it. So what I'm going to do, because I kind of cheat a little bit, I'm going to turn that over. You'll probably see it better on the black again. So let's go back to it. I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to match them up. And I'm going to take some Scotch tape, and I'm just going to tape the two pieces together at each end. Just don't let your Scotch tape show. And then that way I have a whole piece, so when I glue it down. Okay, what I'm going to do next, kind of hide that little seam there. So I'm going to take this ribbon here, and I'm going to make that go behind. So I'm going to just cut that off. I then again going to line that up here, go to the back, and again I'm just going to use tape, and I'm going to tape this edge. Since that's such a soft see-through ribbon, you could make a mess with the glue. So I'll just make sure again that I have it pretty straight. Fold that back and hold it. There, I have both of them taped together. So now what I'm going to do, since they are taped, I'm going to get my Tombow adhesive out. And I'm just going to, I want to get especially this bottom, since it's got the embossing on it, so that it'll stick. Kind of add a little extra glue down there. Pick it up, turn it over, and then mount it on this piece of there we go. So we have that done, and that's ready. We can go ahead actually and add that to my card base, which I'm using soft sea foam as my card base. So I'm just going to fold that over. Use my Pampered Chef putz scraper thing and add this to the back, and then we'll finish the front of the card. Great technique, girls. I I really hope that you like it, and I hope that you'll try it. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to mount it right here on the card. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to stamp my leaves. So I'm going to do that even with this on here, I think. We'll see. We're going to hold this down like so. I got carried away, didn't I? But you know, wherever there's a will, there's a way. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to take the Just Jade. And you know, I could remake this video, but you know, we all make mistakes. We all get ahead of ourselves. So I'm just going to do it this way. I'll use the back of this piece of cardstock. Pull that down. Thought something looked funny. And then I'm just going to add my leaves. If I can get that paper to stay there. I really don't want to get it on the, if I can help it. Okay, then I'm going to bring in the Pretty Peacock and I'm going to do the small leaf. So let's cover that up. Get the small leaf. There again, I'm going to hold that down a little bit. So I think we kind of made it. So all's not lost, girls. We got it done. We got it done. So there we go. We didn't mess anything up. How about that? So now I'm going to take this piece, turn it over, and I'm going to stamp 2 leaves. This was the border that I cut off. And I'm also going to stamp in the soft suede my little hello there saying that it's going to go right there. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one more thing real quick. I'm going to bring back in my soft suede with my little, these are little dots. I'm going to stamp off and stamp some dots in here. It just gives some nice texture. And there we go. We got all of our little texture dots done. Set all of that to the side. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to bring my Big Shot in real quick to cut out those dies. And right here it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to put my tag on the opposite side this time. So I'm going to put my tag punch or tag die right here. I'm going to take the leaves. I can only cut one leaf out at a time. So we'll do this one first. And with the tag, I'm going to go ahead and put this down and run it through. So there's my leaf and my tag. going to do my other leaf. And there's my 2 leaves done. Throw that away. We can put this back on the floor for a second. We don't need it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, I'm putting my hello over here because I got a little bit of ink on that ribbon right there. So I'm going to want that right there. So I'm going to kind of visualize that. So I'm going to put my 2 leaves on. And what I did with my leaves, let's turn them over, and I'm going to put a pop dot or a dimensional, whatever you want to call them, right here at the top. That's the only one I need. I don't want the bottom of it popped because it's going to be under the tag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add these in here, like so. And then I'm going to take my gold ribbon, or thread I should say, and you could wrap this around your hands and then put it together, or I'm going to do it like I'd be doing a bow because I want my little loops to be different sizes. I don't necessarily want them all the same. I did 3 on each side. So now I'm going to cut that off. And on my tag right here, I'm going to take another piece of Scotch tape. I'm going to lay this down here in this, on the back side of my tag in the center, bunched together. And I'm going to put a piece of tape to hold it together. I'll cut this one long end off. We don't need it. And that is going to go right here on my card, if you can see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop dot that, use my dimensionals, and I'm going to put 4 on here. And the reason being is because I have all this thread on here, and so I'm putting it over the thread to help hold the thread. So I just put 4 on there. Seems like a lot for this little tag, but I just want it to be really secure and really hold down that ribbon in the back, that thread. So there we go. I got all the gunkies off of there. So, and plus it's going on this ribbon, so you want it to stick really well. Get all the mess out of the way. So there is that card, and it's all done. So that's your marbling technique with the torn paper effect. You can tell the big difference in the 2 cards color wise. I think I kept this, the original sample is a little bit lighter, but I really do like both of them. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week with another technique. You guys have a great week, a great day, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, and bye.